Major Lazer just finished a major concert on the Oculus VR network venues, and I'm about to tell you all about it right now. So, tonight on Oculus Venues Network, Major Lazer just performed. Did you check it out? Because I watched the whole thing. The whole thing. Ran about 80 minutes, and I'm going to tell you all about it right now. Like I said in the introduction. My name is Chris King. Welcome or welcome back to Love Live Music here on YouTube. This is where I talk about concerts, music reviews, record reviews. We talk about things that I've done, things that maybe you'd like to see, and all of that comes together here on Love Live Music. So tonight, if you're not familiar with the Oculus virtual reality, this is the second or third iteration. I guess this is the Oculus 2, but they had the Oculus Rift, they had the Oculus Quest. This is the Oculus Quest 2, I think, is the actual name of it. But in any event, I picked up one of these bad boys about a month ago when they came out because I was excited about what concerts were going to be. Let's face it, 2020, we haven't seen any concerts. Not a whole lot. Definitely not anything large scale, big, festival-like. And so I was excited to go into tonight's event on their Venues app and see what that was all about. If you were with me a few weeks ago, you know that I watched Janelle Monáe do a similar concert on Oculus. I've got my review up. You can check that out right here on the link. But I came away from that wanting more, wanting a lot more. And tonight, what did I get? Well, I got Major Lazer. And I'm familiar with Diplo, and I'm familiar with Major Lazer being a huge festival headliner. But I can't say that I've ever seen Major Lazer live, and I can't say that I'm super familiar with their catalog of remixes and hits and things of that nature. So I'm going into this real clean and real fresh, and with my eyes wide open and my Oculus headset, ready to see what the world had to offer me. Here's what I found. First of all, little did I know there was going to be some setup involved. So I wasn't really ready to hit the ground running like I thought I was. The show was supposed to start at 8 p.m. my time. I logged on a few minutes prior and was like, oh shoot, I got to set up an avatar. I've got to go through a little bit of a tutorial. And the tutorial and all of that, you're kind of in like a lobby, more or less like a foyer of a venue, maybe a theater style venue, or, you know, it didn't feel like an arena, walkway, concourse, all of that. Felt more like a theater setting, and you see other people walking around, and it tells you, Oculus tells you, if you see other people, those are real people. So please be kind and be nice, because that's what we do. We don't want to infringe on anybody else. We're just coming in to have our own cool time. So I showed up, as I've done before, certainly, probably you too, a few minutes late for the gig. Maybe I was 7 or 8 minutes late getting into it. And you use your headset and you walk and you kind of go through the area and you see the stage, and it puts you basically in your own box. Your own box where you're about eye level with the performer, although they're up on a very large platform. And a lot of stuff happens throughout that we're going to talk about. But more or less, I felt eye level and that maybe they were 50, 60 yards away. I didn't really love the point of view, to be honest. I think that's something that can be improved upon in virtual reality concerts. So let's step into how it felt to be there. Did I feel like I was at a big festival type concert? Not really. Did I feel, what you see is what feels like a large sound stage. You can see the rafters, you can see the lights hanging. You can see, and that's all like animation, right? You see the RoboScans on the floor, you see some hanging, you see line array speakers hanging, which, that's all just to give you the feel like you're watching the event. I could look over to my right, I could look over to my left, and what I could see are other avatars in their own little boxes it felt kind of like if you've seen the first or second Star Wars, I'm talking about Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones, where they go to the large government assembly and there are these rows and rows of skyboxes that just go on forever. It felt a little bit like that, like I was in this weird box, not like a box at an arena show or anything like that. It just felt odd, awkward, but whatever. I'm wearing the headset. That felt awkward also. I was just happy to be at a concert for the first time in a long time. So that was good. The performance, the guys themselves, like I said, having never seen them, I don't know what their actual onstage shtick is. A bunch of guys dancing around, one of them kind of working on the DJ stuff, maybe two of them at some times, but the third one out front, in front of the DJ table, dancing. It was awkward. It was a little bit weird. It was certainly, they gave it their all. They went for something that not a lot of people are doing right now, so it was interesting. They had some dancers that would come and go. Their stage was set up on a platform, which I would assume is not unlike a normal Major Lazer show. And they had their laser girls, 4 girls that would come and go and do various dance routines. Maybe it was because of the VR or whatever, but the choreography, I wouldn't call it tight. The music of the event, I would say, was cool, was interesting. I wish, I really, I didn't wear headphones. I just used the built-in audio speakers that are in here, and when the bass would drop, I wasn't really feeling that so much. As a matter of fact, sometimes it would distort out a little bit, which wasn't cool, but I would think that if I had added some headphones, maybe Bluetoothed in some good ones, that I would have been more in line with the audio. The visuals behind the band were certainly interesting. I don't know if it's their logo. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but a large face, which wasn't unlike, if you've ever played Katamari Damacy, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Katamari on any video game system where they have the king. It really reminded me of that graphic that was positioned over them throughout. And then there was the screen that kind of covered. And the screen had a lot of interesting visuals going on. Their DJ stage was in front of the screen. So that was very much like you would see at a real show. However, in the VR context, I just almost feel like I wish it was a little bit different. I wish that maybe it would have been similar to Twitch, where maybe the guys in Major Lazer were in the bottom corner and I was just seeing visuals. I didn't necessarily need to see the stage setup, the sound stage setup, although I know what they were going for to make it feel like it was a real live performance. And again, more power to those guys. Even towards the end, they mentioned, hey, this is our first live gig since the world shut down with COVID. So thank you so much for coming out. And I get it. Performers want to perform. And this is certainly an interesting way to do it, an interesting way to connect with their fan base. I did enjoy it. Ask me, would I rather it have been a situation where through the VR, I felt like I was literally on stage? Let's say that if it were the Rolling Stones, or if it were, anybody, Coldplay, U2, whoever, Ed Sheeran. Let's say it was an Ed Sheeran VR. I would much rather feel like I was on stage, sitting like right by the neck of his guitar and watching him play and watching him actually hit the notes and play. And that's not really what I got here. To do it all over again, would I have loved it if they would have given me the option to see behind the booth, to see what they were doing? That would have been great. I don't know about DJ shows and how they actually do it. I'm certainly not going to sit and say, hey, yeah, it was pre-recorded or anything, because it felt live. It felt like the guys were having fun. They certainly had a couple of, stop the musics and some vocalization that was very, very live and cool. And all in all, I enjoyed it. Is this the future of live music? It's not the future of live music, but it's likely to be part of live music. And I appreciate that these guys put it out there on the front end to be part of whatever the future is going to be. All in all, though, would I watch it again? Probably not. Would a Major Lazer fan watch it again? Maybe. I don't know for sure. Something like this, it feels like you need to have several of your friends together to kind of vibe on one another. But all that being said, yeah, I was up, standing up off my couch. I was rocking out a little bit within my sphere that my dancing sphere that I had to lay out with Oculus so that I wouldn't trip over the coffee table or step on my dog. My dog didn't know what was happening. Thought I was doing aerobics. Whatever. That's between me and my dog. And if you want the dog to eat well, then keep watching my videos and maybe I'll buy him something.